Hello, welcome again to On the Mic with Mike. I am Mike Jarvis, and in this edition of the podcast, I am joined by two of Montserrat's current, long-standing, outstanding, legendary, heroic musicians, calypsonians, however you want to place these two gentlemen. They've been involved in it in the calypso industry, should I call it that, in Montserrat. And I'm speaking of none other than King Reality Everton Weekes. Welcome, Reality.
Thank you, Mike. I'm glad to be here. Always happy to hear your voice.
Oh,
It's
thank you
been
very
missing.
much.
It's been missing for a long time.
Oh my goodness. Okay, don't write a calypso about me now. And the one and only, we hear him every Sunday as an extremely popular podcast that's running Sunday mornings, the Ozie Bluu Sunday Live. But he's here with us now in his capacity as a calypsonian and a musician. Ozie Bluu, how are you?
Hello, everybody who's listening out there. Ozie Bluu for now. That name has been going for 4 years, so it's still for now.
For now, okay, I'll ask you about that later on. Let us talk, gentlemen, about what is happening with you two guys together in Calypso in Montserrat for this year. You've released your first song, Ozie. We had a very good conversation about that. Now you have just released, you just unveiled, put it that way, your new calypso called Estranged, which is a joint production of yourself and Reality. So you tell us about it and then introduce Reality and his role in it.
Well, when we do a song, Reality and I would figure out what is current, what is going on. And for those of you folks out there who know my Sunday Live, I am very strong on finding my monstrations living and working abroad. And so this becomes a topic where when it's during election, we find ourselves, a lot of people who had properties and had investments and other things are in and out of Montserrat, living abroad, working abroad, who find themselves wanting to vote but could not vote. And so that was where the topic actually came from. So reality, you could take it from there, as you're the man with the pen.
Well, Estrange was a culmination of thoughts, ideas, discussion, events, things that occurred. As you know, we had a recent election and things that were happening, and I observed some of the stuff that was going on, and I had conversations with Azzy about what's happening in Montserrat. I listened to the radio, and there was um so many things that led me to this trend of thought. And usually, once I have a trend of thought for a while, it flows within me, and something start to happen, and I just sat down, and the song came to me because of the occurrence that was taking place. I don't want to mention some of them because they might be controversial, but when I looked at, you know, there was some bickering in the election and some stuff, and you know, some of the people that were away wanted to come back and be part of it, and there are rules, there are laws, there are different things. But then when I looked at me as a monstration myself, and I realized that we are really becoming estranged from this land. It's not the same. Even even in the calypso, which is our art form, right? Even the way Montserrat delivered calypso was unique. The way Senkits was unique. Antigua was unique. But my love was for Montserrat calypso, and I seen even now that we are not really trying to develop our own culture. We are more influenced by the Trinidad culture, which is completely different to ours. And as a young Calypsonian going into Trinidad, I realized that our culture was, believe it or not, at that time was ahead. And to see us now struggling from behind, and then, I realized that even in our other cultures and all the things that we do in Montserrat, the true Montserratians now, the true blood, the people who love this soil, we are really estranged from it. It's not there anymore. We ourselves, even though we want to claim Montserrat as ours, we wake up and see it's no longer ours.
And at this juncture, folks, considering all that reality just said and what Ozie said before, this song encapsulates what they're talking about. This is Estranged by Ozie Bluu.
What I see happening in these shores, the truth is plain, cannot be ignored. I know some of we just closing we eyes, acting nonchalant. I wonder why. Do they have agendas or just heart of stone? Why are they ready to sell out their own? What have we become? Lord, what is going on? Monstrations estranged in their own land. Estranged, we have become estranged. Treated like aliens, a culture all but gone. Estranged, we have become estranged. Not welcome anymore, oh no. They executed their plan to take over this land. We have lost control for sure. Oh yeah. Now it costs a fortune to enter this land. It's better they tell us all monstrations banned. Only the rich and famous and British lackeys hold any freedom here in this country. Forget local government, they don't have no say. Just treated like lame ducks standing in the way. Stripped of dignity, oh yes, stripped of right. We have no way to fight. Estranged, we have become estranged. Treated like aliens, a culture all but gone. Estranged, we have become estranged. Not welcome anymore, oh no. They executed their plan to take over this land. We are in control no more. Fighting for this bone, our ancestors crying where they are tonight. For all of the true bloods have lost their birthrights. They are now in exile, have no right to vote. As a true monstration, that must really hurt. Once a solid rock, now it is quicksand. Monstrations estranged in their own land. Estranged, we have become estranged. Treated like aliens, a culture all but gone. Estranged, we have become estranged. Not welcome anymore, oh no. They executed their plan to take over this land. We have lost control for sure. Oh yeah.
That was Estranged, song by Ozie Bluu, written by Reality, and they are my two guests in this edition of On the Mic with Mike. Gentlemen, you both gave us a perspective on how this song came about and the issues that drive it. There's a lot going on in this song, both lyrically and topically, regarding its relevance to Montserrat. Now, when you look at the big picture, and it's like writing poetry to me. Sometimes I have an idea in my head and it just stays there and percolates, sometimes for days on end, and then I can put it together. But you two working together, yes, it's the internet age now and we are all globally remotely connected, but how challenging was it to exchange ideas and tweak the lyrics for this particular calypso?
Mike, once we decide on the topic, especially this current topic, and like I said before, I don't want to repeat myself, but I am very, very strong on finding my monstrations wherever they are. And Mike, I know you log into my Sunday program a few times, a lot of times, and you would hear that I say, I don't like to use that word, diaspora, because to me, it seems like a brand new word to dissect us. I usually say true blood monstrations, or I say my people living and working abroad. And Mike, when I see the pain in a lot of them who felt like they were betrayed, Mike, a lot of people, a lot of monstrations abroad, they contribute significantly, tremendously to the financial, economical strengths of Montserrat. And when they find themselves only to hear, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this? And when they ask for the one and only thing, how do you all sit with us voting? They were told, you are not welcome. And that's part of the lines in there. You are not welcome. It is very, very tough on somebody who know that there are monstrations and your same people telling you, you are not welcome to vote, even though they contribute a lot, and a lot more than plenty people living on island. And let reality take some more, because, like I say, I do express myself on my Sunday program, so I don't want to sound repetitive. But my king, I call him the maestro. Let him take some of it.
Well, he is the maestro indeed, and Reality. Both yourself and Ozie Bluu come from a place that I call the heart of Montserrat's calypso culture. Yourself, you're a former, multiple times calypso king of Montserrat. Ozie Bluu comes from a background as a musician, as a trumpeter, being involved with bands, and now he's at the forefront, in front of the microphone, doing his thing. When we look at that foundation that was laid, and given, yes, we are talking about this current issue at the moment, but given, let's call it the legacy of that foundation that you two gentlemen were part of laying, how do we build on that? And I'm linking this to the fact that Montserrat has had a traumatic experience, and I keep saying, unlike any other country in the Caribbean or even in the Western Hemisphere. So building back from that traumatic experience, both the geological, volcanological impact of the volcano and the sociological impact as well, what is the role of the artist in helping Montserrat to regain its footing coming out of this?
Well, Mike, I'm glad you touched on the foundation and, the very atmosphere that created calypsonians and musicians like myself, Ozie, and others. You know, but a lot has been overlooked because remember, I have never been to music lesson. I have never been to music school. I grew up in a humble village, St. John's, and at that time, they used to call us country cool.
Yeah, but wait a minute. Let me interject here, Reality, before you continue on that train of thought. Are you are self-taught in music?
Yes, totally.
All those songs you did for yourself, for other artists like Obstinate and other people you work with, you work with Hero, and you're self-taught.
Yes, people think sometimes when I'm talking to other musicians, they think I've been to Berkeley, been to music college and so, because in the theory, music theory, I practically know everything. I mean, I shouldn't say that, but it's true though.
Well, it
Um,
comes across in your music. I mean, the stuff that you've produced, some of the things that I've heard and well, by other artists, and I'm told, oh, your reality wrote that, or he arranged it, he composed it. That's amazing.
well, the habitat that I grew up in, music habitat, was so so tremendous that I had to learn. You know, I remember myself and my brother organizer wanting to learn to play music, and all we could do is to look at the other musician's hand. But what I'm going to say now is that Montserrat itself was a melting pot for learning music. Everybody in this village that I grew up could play an instrument. It
That's
wasn't
St.
just
John's.
it
St.
right.
John's?
It wasn't just me in my house. I could, when I'm in America, sometimes I say to people, I might be giving you a hard time, but forgive me because I grew up in a house where we could just start a band at any time. My brother could just grab the bass, I grab the guitar, and we start up. And you understand, and we start to sing, and you think it's a whole band we have there. I grew up like that. I did not realize at the time what we had. It came natural. But while you're growing up, over there is Rosie playing her concertina. Over there is Blind Brothers playing his guitar. Thomas Harris is playing his cattle hand down there. Greece is writing calypso. What I'm saying, everybody you knew was a musician and doing something in music. So as a child growing up in that atmosphere, I'm learning without even going to school. You understand? And that is what Montserrat was. So when the calypsonians used to come out at Christmas time, we used to always wonder this. And you would know what I'm saying. I wonder what he coming with this
Yes,
time.
exactly.
Because nobody could have an idea. It's not like now where you could anticipate the chords that they're going to write. It was never that. Because melody used to flow and permeate the atmosphere like, look, I could tell you stories that unbelievable stories, but what I am saying is this. I do not know how we allowed this to slip away from us because nobody really paid attention to what we had until now it's gone from us. Seeing when people struggling to write calypso. Listen, the first year that I sang, and I always have to mention this. This guy from Long Ground, his last year that I found out the truth. He sang a tune, Bad Habit. I was so impressed with that guy in the band house as a young calypsonian coming and hearing this guy sing. And I always talking and talking about him. Last year, he said to me, I didn't even pass the eliminations. And I said, what? Because those times, everybody was good. It wasn't, no, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It was,
Exactly. And by the way, who was that guy?
what did call him, man? The tune, bad habit go lead you down the drain. Bada bada, da ba bada. Can you tell me who are you going to blame?
You talking about endlessly?
Endlessly, endlessly.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
My goodness. Endlessly. Correct.
endlessly. Right.
Correct. Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
No.
he didn't pass elimination.
He didn't even pass elimination, and one of my most memorable and beloved songs in calypso all times was his song.
All time, yes.
But Ozzy, let me bring you back into the picture now because, well, you haven't left the picture. But what reality is talking about there, his reality in music, isn't that similar to your experience when you were blowing trumpet? You didn't have any formal training, did you?
Mike, let me just go back a teeny bit.
Okay.
Growing up, I started with Ivan Brown, and I used to sing with Ivan Brown on this little box going to the Emerald Isle Hotel. You know about Emerald Isle
Yeah,
Hotel
yeah. Yeah, and I think I heard you say that before. Yeah.
And then you had Coconut Hill over there by Mr. Wall and husbands them, and the Viewpoint. So he was the main tourist entertainer, and he got hooked to me, being he was a music teacher in Plymouth Primary, and we used to go to the various hotels on the weekends. He would come and ask my mom. Eventually, I started to play percussions in various bands. And what used to happen, Mike, is that after Trinidad Carnival, you will find all these brass players. They just swarm through the Leeward Islands, like Antigua, Montserrat, St. Kitts, and they would just swarm all over Montserrat. So we would find ourselves with a lot of brass players during the year. When November comes, they all run back to Trinidad because that's when they make money for the carnival during the carnival coming from November to February, right? And what happened is that every year we used to find ourselves having brass throughout the years. And when Christmas come, the calypsonians and them don't have no brass. So I thought about it, and Noel Pond came back and they made him, I think, commander, lieutenant of the Montserrat Royal Defense Force. And he encouraged a lot of us young guys that we should start playing music. So I joined the Montserrat Defense Force as a trumpet player. And that's how I started playing trumpet. But before you know it, we were whisked away. As soon as we could have played a couple of notes, we were whisked away into bands. Because what happened is that these Trinidadians gone during November, Christmas time, and we would just jump in with a band because they want to hear some whether it's pop or pop. So you had to learn quickly. And so that's how I become a trumpet player. But I'm just going to throw this in. I remember one time when I was in camp up at Trans, and what they did after camp, I think Major Bazi, he got sick, so sick that every morning they used to take me down to the defense force over there by Mr. Watts, the chicken place down there.
Yes, that's
where
Harbour Court.
Harbour Court. That's where we were opposite Harbour Court.
Yes.
And I had to practice the last post for like a month. I'm practicing the last post because Major Baz is supposed to be dead.
Wow.
He's gonna die. That's how they got me practicing, because Major is on deathbed. I practice so much that I'm tired. The man just get back all his energy and live for many years. After that is when I went to America, somewhere along that part when I was there. But I'm saying, I just throw that in to show, how we were so desperate of getting wind-blowing instruments in Montserrat, that anything we had to preserve what we had, But that's how it is now.
Yeah.
Even now, we are lacking of wind-blowing instruments in Montserrat. And thanks to Cupid, and I must say, Cupid, the governor, and her husband, and the Gorney School thing, where they're starting this program, and they are teaching our young children to play wind-blowing and violins and those kind of instruments, which is a good thing,
Well, certainly credit where credit is due, and I must give credit to Cupid for the continuing effort that he's making with the children, the youngsters, teaching them music, whether it be classical instruments, steel band, horn section, that sort of thing. So kudos to Cupid when it comes to that. Now, music has changed since back in the day. The circumstances of Montserrat have also changed. The two tend to go together. The population depletion. We spoke about all of the bands that we had and all of the musicians that we had. We, because of the circumstances, don't have them anymore.
Mike,
okay.
I don't want to cut you, but I want to add one thing to what you're saying.
Yeah.
The love of culture, I believe, that too is gone. It's not the same because you see, the love of culture calls people to do or to want to take part in what we do, and that itself can make greatness come out. Because one thing I want to tell you, when I wrote my first song, it was not a calypso. I wrote a song, and the then governor's wife heard the song, and the kind of accolades that she gave me and the kind of praise and push it, that is what inspired me to continue to write, because I was just writing a little song. I didn't even know the song was anything. Trust me, I just thought it was just a stupid song. But when she, because I was not a writer in my family. My brother was the writer, organizer. Like, he was writing for Live Wires and them write songs for that. I think that album that they did. I
Yeah.
wasn't even right, Then after that, I wrote a song, and the governor wife is the one that pulled me aside and said, "No, you got to write some more song. That's she really loved the song," and we had to go to Government House and perform that song for her. And you know, just that little simple action that she did gave me, it gave me the courage to try to pen more songs, and then you know, I started trying to write calypso. Then after that.
But fantastic. And looking at it from this current perspective now, here I am speaking with you and speaking with Ozie, and for the new crop of calypsonians that we have in Montserrat, I heard, I don't know if it was probably from yourself, Ozie, mentioning that a lot of the seasoned calypsos that we have had over the years, even up to the past few years, are not taking part in the competition this year. Quite a number of them have dropped out. However, the same inspiration you guys got from others, particularly now looking at the situation this year, this kind of nexus where we're at, couldn't it be said that the involvement of Ozie Bluu, the involvement of reality, okay, Cupid is not competing, some others are not competing, but the presence of you guys, one way or another, as writers, as singers, musicians, couldn't we say that you are providing the inspiration for the next group of calypsonians, male and female, coming through? And some of them, trust me, I've been following a few of them, the potential is there, and there are songs over the past, let us say 5 or so years, that have been exceptional. They might have been the exception to the norm, but they have been exceptional. So aren't you guys the new, lighting the new fire of inspiration, to put it that way?
Mike,
Come on, don't be modest. Don't tell me
Mike, when
about it.
when I came back to live, well, I live half and half here in New York. But when I came back and I said I'm going to get involved in the culture, and Hero and I took to doing a lot of things through St. Patrick's and Christmas. And then Hero said, "I'm going to write a song for you." And he did, and wrote another song. And from then, I saw every year, the young calypsonians, it's like they're fading out. And I understand a lot of them have left Montserrat. A lot of them that are here, Mike, I feel bad for some of them because they are involved. I don't want to call any names, but they are involved in a lot of things. I can tell you, and I'm going to call names because I love the fact that they're young people. Stevel, Daughter of the Soil, Dado, Proclaimer, these young people. And, when I see how much that they're doing civilly and culturally, I say, I have to step in. And I'm not stepping in just to make numbers. Mike, I'm going to come in very competitive because we need to step it up, and we need to have these young folks here step up their game and encourage some others who's going to look unto them, not look unto me. But I am not leaving, Mike. I am going to roll out like some of these Trinidadian calypsonians in wheelchair on walkers and stuff and still performing, because we don't have the population like Trinidad and other countries. But we have to do what we have to do to preserve our culture. And I am going to be in it. I don't care about the winning it. I am going to be here to help the generation to see what we had and what we could have. It's for them. And I'm just putting a plea out there, even to the seasoned calypsonians. We have to do what we have to do to encourage the world to come and partake in our festival. If we wait too late with our calypso to put them on the ear, they're not getting enough airplay to encourage people to come to Montserrat. Our culture is what belongs to us, our heart, our soul. And if y'all don't put it out there, people out there are not going to get jealous. It's like nothing is happening in Montserrat. It's 1 week before, and you find everything is happening this week. Man, you have to have it earlier. That lady there in Antigua that won the Calypso Monarch, she came up with her song early February, and the carnival is July, and she won. So I'm just saying out there to our calypsonian season or young ones, let's try and get our music out more sooner than this. It's for the advertisement, it's for the hype, it's for the rivalry and stuff like this. So go ahead.
That
Well,
word
to
you
answer
mentioned,
your
okay,
to
reality,
answer your question,
you're coming, reality.
yeah, to answer your question, yes, I do believe that we should point the way, pave the way, or guide the coming generation. But there is one thing that I've been trying to to point out during my lifetime as a writer. And anyone can be a writer, because when people are happy, when people are living in a culture that they embrace, there's always a melody in their heart. Whether they know it or not, every person that lives in a happy culture has a melody. If you remember listening to your mother, your grandmother, they always humming something. It's just that tune, that connection, that rhythm that keep you going. And if you dig deep enough, any person of culture, they can write their own songs. They just don't know it. And there are some of us that can help them to unlock their genius, because there might be much better writers out there than me that don't even know that they're writers themselves. Because when I started writing, I had not a clue that I was a writer, because I was living in a family where I was the only one that was not a writer. My brother Clyde was a writer. My elder brother Stanley Weeks was always writing songs. He was the writer, writing songs. My neighbor Grease was one of the best songwriters. Fisher, radio, all these guys was writing around me. I was never a writer. And I did not know that within me was so much melody till I started to write. And I remember Ataka said to me, "Boy, you're amazing how you always finding these melodies." So I know for sure that people say like Falcon, me, myself, well, Hero is gone now, but there are others out there, Cupid, Beer, all these are people who used to write their own songs, who still write, who can write. And I'm saying that we should be the ones helping the younger ones to understand that they carry melodies in their heart. And yes, when they have the calypso competition, they do point to lyrics, but don't get carried away. Lyrics is not a song. Melody is a song. If you have a melody in your heart, we say you have a song in your heart. Because you know what? Everyone have something to talk about. Every one of us that walk the world have something to talk about. So once a melody come in your heart, then just start talking, brother, and you have a song.
Reality, That is
Yes.
so deeply philosophical and practical. And I think that what you have outlined there and what Ozie also spoke about speaks to the need and the not just the need, the opportunity for calypso writing workshops, workshops around the art form, not just at Christmas time, but leading up to that from early in the year. Because, okay, for example, you mentioned Bear, and I see Bear is back to doing the fantastic work that he's been doing with the young masqueraders. We need to get Bear also involved in this
Yes, what
Calypso
he's doing
forum,
is
but
great.
he's
Yes.
only one person, and there's only so much that he can do, which leads me to a word that Ozie mentioned there, and that's rivalry, but rivalry in the best sense of the word, in that you were involved back in the Arrow era with the University of Soca. As a matter of fact, I cannot think of anybody in Montserrat with a love of calypso, with that quote unquote melody in their heart, as you put it, who weren't involved one way or the other in the University of Soca, if not directly involved, at least like me on the periphery of it. That kind of rivalry. I did an interview, well, call them conversations, with Christo. And Christo mentioned that as well, the village support and that sort of rivalry, even in a smaller scale in Montserrat as it is at the moment. How do we recapture and even nurture that? It's good rivalry, and it's rivalry that builds creativity. Who's going to
Well,
go first?
believe it or not, for me, I have never seen calypso as rivalry. For myself, because, like I said, I was the one who was not a writer. So when I came in, I did not come in like, okay, I'm going to write a better song than you guys. I would write my song. I would go to organizer. What you think? Is this song like a song at all? I would go to radio. What you think? This is a song? Oh, Fisher, this is a song. Oh, you understand? I was just coming in to put my little 10 cents or 2 cents piece in it because I wanted to be in it now. But um, I never saw it as a rivalry. And after I had success, I did not say, well, okay, I am great now. I forget you guys. No, the first year that my brother um plays, I come to him and say, listen to me. You're not writing any songs for yourself this year because you've been writing and let me write a song for you. And I go to several people, let me help you, let me do a song. And the first time I wrote for my brother, he came first runner up, and
Yeah,
there are many people when I'm in the competition. I used to write for Shorty, the Is, all kind of other calypsonians, and all of us in the finals together. I never saw it as a rivalry. And I'm going
oh,
to tell you a story. When I
okay.
did Have a Little Faith,
Yeah, I
I did
remember
not
that.
write Have a Little Faith for myself. I wrote Have a Little Faith for Shorty.
Really?
And Shorty tell me he don't like the song. So I said, okay, I have another song there. And he listened to it. Oh, I love that one. And he took the other one. And I was home because I had stopped singing calypso. And then the guys came to me and said, boy, Hugo just devastated the land. It might be a good idea for you to come back and sing. And I said to them, but if you guys had come before, even yesterday, I would have said yes because I had songs, but people come and I gave out all the songs, and all I am left is one little song that all of them left. And that little song that all of them left was Have a Little Faith. So I said, okay, and the guy said, but you singing just to lift the culture, so it doesn't matter. Just sing what you got. I say, you're right, I'm going to sing it. And that's it. I went and sing Have a Little Faith. And,
But
when
here,
Shorty heard me singing it, he said, boy, he still believe he made the right decision because he couldn't sing it like because singing a calypso, people think it's all about the calypso. No, it's all about the conviction for the lyrics and for the melody and what you're saying. So when I was singing Have a Little Faith, the way I sang it, Shorty wasn't feeling it that way. So what I'm saying, I never saw it was for me. It's not a rivalry. It's a love for culture, and I believe that when you help other people to grow, when they grow, they have to take you along with them. They can't. When the art farm growing, you in it, you are growing too.
Exactly.
So there's no need to. I mean, the rivalry for me is for the fans, not for the people that's in art. 'Cause art is just creativity and love, and you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I don't
and
see it as a rivalry at all.
I think that is the point there. The rivalry is not an sort of enmity. It's not that at all. It's
Right,
competitive, but as you
right,
correctly said, it's with the fans because I've been there. I've been in Sturge Park when the St. John's crew came up against the Jubilee and the Town Hill crew between
right.
yourself and the Hero, and the excitement that was built up around that. Ozie, let me come to you. Um, because
Mike, can I
yeah,
just say something with a rivalry thing there? I
certainly.
think since volcano and the displacement of our villages and stuff, you find some people from Long Ground, from Bethel, from the east, they all pack up in the north, and everybody's in the north, and south people is in the north. So we really don't have true rivalries to say village gonna root for, because you might be rooting for somebody from Long Ground, but the person living Lookout. And you
Come on,
find
we give flags. We give everybody a flag, a St. John's flag, and a Long Ground flag, and a Kinsale
Yeah,
flag.
that is true, but you don't find, like, you still find the crowds of people who support where they originally from, but because you don't have that big St. John's bus coming down
Yeah,
and the Salem bus coming in and the town coming into the parks, you find like everybody coming out and having a good, and they're gonna root for 3, 4, 5, 6 people. You know what I'm saying? Normally they would be rooting for their own bred villager. And that just my take. Just
yeah.
my
Well, let
take.
me give you guys a little anecdote here. Something this actually happened to me in Sturge Park. And reality, it concerns you, okay? I, I don't remember the year, but it was one of those years when the competition between yourself and Ozie is involved because I think Ozie was blowing for Hammer at that time. The competition was so intense, and it was the finals night, and the Sturge Park was packed, and everybody was on edge because I think for the first three places, but it was between yourself and the Hero, and we were waiting for the judge's decision. When you performed, half of practically all of the park, went up, including whoever were residing in the cemetery at that time. And the same
yeah,
thing happened when Justin performed. I mean, it was
yeah,
madness in the park. And we were in the booth, we were broadcasting, and I think I said something like this, judging from the crowd's reaction, I think Hero has it. A group of people stormed the broadcasting booth. I've never done that again. And to be honest, right now, I don't even remember which one of you guys won. Either one could have won. I mean, but that was the intensity, the passion of the crowd following, and then we would get calls on the radio station, you're not playing reality song enough, or from town here, you're not playing Hero song enough, or you're
Yep,
not playing
yep.
Cupids or the Salem. It would come down to the, oh, we're hearing too much of Hammer, we're not hearing too much of the Calypsonians that Sledge accompanied or Libra One accompanied. I mean, so it was that atmosphere. Where do we go from here now? Is this year the kind of restarting points with guys like yourself now so visibly getting back involved?
Okay, where do we go from here? Listening to you talk, and something that as you said earlier, he mentioned a name, Ivan Brown,
Yeah.
right? I'm looking back at growing up and the people that helped our culture to grow. Well, don't leave yourself out, Mike. Guys like you who, even though you said that, lots of people would call you and say, oh, you didn't play Hero enough, you didn't play reality enough, it was just the fans getting exuberant. But what I'm saying is that there were people in my time that everything they do was to help this country to grow. And growing up, I remember Ivan Brown who come to the schools and sing. I remember guys like Wilsey, guys like you, and what they did to make the culture grow. Their input, everybody was giving their input to help us to grow. And I believe that is what is needed for Monsterations, all of us that are now, because now those great ones are gone. You know, I believe that it's up to us now at this point for everyone to give their input to help Montserrat to grow, culturally and otherwise.
100% with you on that. Ozie?
But Mike, let me just add to what Reality said there. Remember back in the day, the elimination, before you get to elimination, yourself and Wilsey White and ZJB recording personnel, technical staff,
Lowell
they would
Mason
be in
and
the
his
band
crew,
house.
Pinky Scarrett, yeah.
Pinky,
Yeah.
yes, Pinky and all these guys. They would be in the band house like maybe 3 or 4 nights before elimination night. And if you're not up to scratch, you're not getting on the big stage. And I'm not saying we need stuff like this, but because we don't have the masses, we don't have the populace in the calypso fraternal, right? And what we need more, and I'm just going to put it on ZJB a little bit, because they're doing an extremely great job when it comes to festival time with Basil and Lenny and George and DJ Graves and these other guys where because some DJs they're culturally into their nighttime, so Kenny B and CPK and all these guys. But I'm going to say this. I think if ZJB could send a roving camera and DJ to the band house now and again, just to spike things up. We have to start to spruce up things and start to get things like stir up things just to create excitement. See, like, okay, we are having something tomorrow, and I heard it on the radio station. Everybody dress up and come to the park, come to the band house and stuff. I feel ZJB should be there, and we just do something different, something big. Yeah, we're gonna take pictures and stuff. I don't know if that's in the works, but if it's not, it's something to think about. Having a nice 45 hour to do our numbers picking and just create some excitement for Friday. You know what I'm saying? Or invite some calypsonians Friday to the road to festival and invite them there where they have that 3 o'clock show. Invite. So we create some rivalry, some gangster stuff there to get people out for Saturday night. That's the kind of thing where I see where you start to pull back in the fans, because they are nonchalantly gonna go to certain shows, but you want to create that blood where they have the vibe for somebody and they're passionate about their culture and their artists.
Yeah, I agree, and there's no question that the radio station in Montserrat and the radio stations in all of the islands with their festivals and carnivals and whatnot play an absolutely critical role in hyping up the event, in maintaining, promoting, and preserving the culture. And that is all I'll say on that. I thank you, gentlemen. We could continue. Maybe we'll have to do a part 2 of this thing.
Okay, before we finish,
yeah,
are we gonna write a song now?
I'm always writing. I do poetry. I told a colleague of mine, I can write the poetry, you do the melody.
Let's do a song. We want more culture. We want more culture. We build it up. Let's build it up. Come on, Ozie. We want more culture. We want more culture. Let's build it up. I say build it up. Make it strong. Make it strong. Everybody come along. Come along. We want more culture. Are we good?
Want more culture? Let's sing
Let's
along.
build it up.
Let's sing along.
Okay,
And
that's a
out
new
of
song.
that is a jingle and the origins of a calypso hit. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. Really
You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
Thank you, Mike.